there's people that are actually out here that are living the shit that you want other people to believe you're living in. You're just living in like your own fucking immature bullshit that you haven't grown from, and other people have grown through some of the shit that you would have been jumped off the bridge having experience. You know what I mean?
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. He wet Prada. The devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Cerbavelli, back in the place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81 Studios. We are live in effect, live and direct. It's your boy Mr. Nine Times. Yeah, man, today's mathematics, it is May 9th, Saturday, May 9th, 2026, which means it is born. So what is born? Born is to bring into existence, or what we are bringing into. Why the fuck do I hear this shit? I hear this shit loud as a fuck. Hold on, let me. All right, cool. All right. Born is to bring into existence, right? So remember, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are speaking on, and whatever our actions are doing is bringing about existence, which is born. So always be conscious of that. However you think is however you. So you got to keep your mind sharp. So however you think about the world and you think about life and your whole perception of life is going to be your reality. You get what I mean? So if you go around acting like a victim, you're going to be victimized. People are going to treat you like a bitch and a punk. But if you go around with a winner's mentality, if you go around knowing and having the mental capacity to bring about abundance and positivity into existence, then you're bringing about change, and you're bringing about you're bringing birth to new ideas and just positivity into your cipher. So that's what born is. It's the bringing about through the actions, or basically like the thought process of oneself. Peace. Today's drip check, I have basically the 49er colorway, the red and white Diamond Turf 2s. I always forget what kind of jeans they are. They're either 511 or 514s. It's either or. I don't really like wearing 501s. I just don't really like the cut. I forgot which one has, like, I think this is the more stretchy. It is. This one's the more stretchy denim. But yeah, man, I just love like the kind of cowboy kind of, like, you know, these look like I fucking start stacking some hay and shit like that. I got the Year of the Snake white Imperial tank top with the militant minded baseball jacket with the, you know, the red Dodgers LA hat. It's kind of high. It's warming up and shit, like, so I don't even really understand why I'm wearing a hat right now and shit. Haven't worn a hat in so long, and it matches the fit. So who knows? I might take it off. I might not. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take my hat off just so you can see my beautiful hair and shit. I'll put it right here next to the seat that I saved for nobody. Let me see. Got a couple of things I want to talk about today. First, let's start off with, it is May 9th. So May 9th, 2016, 10 years ago, exactly on this date, was a Friday, and it just so happened to be my second mixtape to ever come out, which was called Life and Death. Maybe if I find the cover for it, I'll put it up right here or something like that. I don't know. But basically, Life and Death was, I want to say, a 9-track fucking mixtape or something. And for those who don't know what a fucking mixtape is, it's basically an album full of songs from like music or creating like songs through beats that you don't own. So any type of like, at least that's what like I know, right? Like albums are like original production, and mixtapes are you're taking, you're rapping over the realist, you're rapping over the fucking whatever it is, dead presidents, you know what I mean? Like those are mixtapes, those aren't really albums. But then again, G Unit like changed the game with their mixtapes because they would make whole songs instead of just verses on beats. You get what I mean? So it kind of the lines got really blurry, and especially when I started making music back then, the mixtape shit was dying. I can't even remember. Maybe like my era, or whenever I first started making music, was the end of the mixtape era for sure. Because we're still calling them mixtapes around like the Joey Badass era, around, that whole shit, that whole last wave of movements to come in. Like you still had, Dom Kennedy and fucking, what's his name? Currency still doing shit. So with my second mixtape, it was kind of like, just to give you all the backstory, I had made my first song in I think it was March 1st. I'll never forget. Like, I'm pretty sure March 1st, it was either the day I got the microphone. You know what? I think not only did I get the microphone, but I wrote the song and then I recorded it. It took me like 27 takes or some shit like that. I'll never forget. I was just there. I think what I try to do is I try to piece it up, right? Like I try to vocal comp it, put a bunch of takes together. But then I was like, well, fuck it then. And I just kept making like creating new track after track and just muting them and putting like fucking, I did it all in one take. And it wasn't a good song. Obviously everyone's first song wasn't good, but it was basically a love song I had for like this girl I had really strong feelings for. It was cool, I guess, for whatever it was, but like I just remember like my first three songs were very kind of different. The first song was a love song. The second song, I had like shouted out my pops, and like my third song, like they was just like real different. But like the ongoing theme, man, I knew that one was coming. I'm fucking tired. What is this? 12 in the morning. But I knew the basic theme between like all my songs was they were all dark. They had a dark kind of like vibe and a sound to it, and I think like that never really went away from my music. When it comes to my music, that's why I feel like at some point I don't know if I could kind of get out of that, because I don't, like I've said this before, but I'm not like a really like creatively, you know what I mean? Like as a person, like day to day, like I am really like go happy, go lucky and all that shit. But if you were to listen to my music, and like knew me as a person, you'd be like, who the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, I'm like how I express myself, and like I guess how I am day to day is kind of like different. Not that I put on a persona or a caricature of myself, but it's just more so like how I express myself creatively is how I like is different from how I deal with the world, I guess. So, but I'm able to separate that. Like I'm not one of these, I feel like I'm not one of these dudes that gets into like, they lose themselves in like their character, like a Dice Clay or whatever. I know who I am. I know that fine line, and I know where like this shit is this is just some rap shit. I don't take myself too seriously, and it's cool to blur the lines, don't get me wrong, and I blur the lines too, but like when you look at like some rappers and shit, and they start off like real humble, and then it gets to just like some point where they're like fucking like mad dickheads, whoever it be, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying, I'm not trying to shit on nobody, but I'm just saying like I've seen that in the game. I've seen like artists go from like real humble, or like just kind of like, they kind of like they're anti like what a rapper is, and then they go and they they kind of jump in at every single like rap cliche, whether that be from like either wearing jewelry or rapping about bullshit or whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's just I find it interesting. I think all humans to a certain level are hypocritical. We're all hypocrites at some point, whether our like actions and words don't line up either way. I just try to like stick to like myself as much as I can, like stay true to myself as much as I can, because I feel like as an artist you have to be really like cognizant of how you express yourself in the world, and you have to know where the fine line of entertainment and like reality is. A lot of people want to bring those two worlds together, and I think it's not like a good thing, you know what I mean? I don't go around telling everybody to suck my dick. I just kind of like live my life, and I treat people with respect, and I treat people the way I want to be treated. I think that's a quote, right? Treat others as you would want to be treated. It's not really like a mantra that I live by, but it's just more so like that's who I am. That's who I've always been. I feel like how I was raised around a bunch of different people. And in that you find, I don't want to be around these fools. They're lame. I don't want to be around these people. They're lame. You know, so I think for me, like growing up, like I found that like where my lane is. I found my lane, you know, just like kind of navigating and moving through the world, being like a social butterfly type shit. And some things I don't understand about people, but I feel like there's a lot of things that people don't understand about me from their perception, and who's to say that's wrong? You know what I mean? I was looking some shit up about like, oh, there's like, it's something called the something paradox or some bullshit like that, where you think you're right, and it's like, no, it's like what you think, how others perceive you, and then like what it really is, you know what I mean? And I kind of think about that sometimes, and I think a lot, and I'm real cerebral about shit, and I always try to check myself if some shit like bothers me, you know what I mean? If I like, don't get me wrong, like I know where I fuck up, and whenever I'm fucking up about some shit, I'm like, man, like, you know, you got to do better, bro. Like, you know, at least I have them thoughts. Some people are just dumb as fuck, and they're Neanderthals, and they just go through life not even knowing they're fucking stupid. Like their whole way is the highway, you know what I mean? It's not how it rolls, you know what I mean? You got to look at life in the sense of like, it's not just you. You ain't the only motherfucker living in this world. You're living with other people. You're going and we're all participating in this thing called life. So the greater understanding you have of that, I think the greater your life will be. In the case of going back to like just being an artist, having a darker sound, and just kind of like, you know, I've tried to do different shit. I've tried to do like Playboy Cardi. I did like a Playboy Cardi-esque song. I hated it. I don't like that song to this day. What others is some shit that I didn't like. I'm not gonna lie, it's really rare, but I mean some shit's out there where I probably didn't like it, you know. But I'm always open and to trying new things, because when you're making music, if you're making the same shit, it's like not good at all for your like growth. And like growing as an artist is very fundamental to your career. If you're making the same shit, and I'm not saying like you have to be like fucking making jazz one day and then R&B the next. I'm just saying like you have to make those changes, step out of your comfort zone, and just, you know, see if trying new things work. If it doesn't work, if it does work. I try to do that all the time, make little tweaks here and there, whether that be with my ad libs or my production, or just like even now, like a new thing for me is like, I'm not every song is gonna make an album. So I got shit like I could make like a 46 degrees, you know what I mean? Like we had 44 degrees, 45 degrees. I could make a 46 degrees if I wanted to. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, because I feel like my music is real, like it gotta be a good representation of where I am now. And if I don't feel like it's up to par, or I set the bar high for myself, so I feel like I can't meet that or go higher, even if it's just just a compilation of like songs in a vault, then it doesn't even make sense. Because I go back to Mulberry, right? Mulberry was like kind of like a personal album. I kind of, not that I wish I didn't release it, but it's just one of those, it's like in the tuck, I didn't really promote it a lot. It was just something like, it's here if you want to listen to it. But with albums like Loteria, Greenlight, those albums in particular, we put in Painter's Palisade, I pushed those really hard because I wanted people to kind of like see where I am and in my life and my perspective. So I feel like being like doing like maybe some 90s R&B shit would be good, because I do have like strong feelings about women, and the only way I could get that out is through music. So that's the only positive I feel like I would be able to kind of like convey in a lighter tone and a lighter soundscape in my music. Because like besides that, the way I express myself is just not, it's just not like on some fucking, happy birthday, you know what I mean? It's not that. It's very, and I don't really care like about what people think like about my music, because I feel like a lot of people don't get it. And you gotta face adversity when people like try to, like there's haters or whatever, like people at work, they find out I rap and they hate all my shit, some of them, and I don't really take it personally. Like it's just like, all right, well, you're just a hater, because like while you're here just like working and you're probably not even doing that much, I'm really like fucking grinding every day. Like I'm 24/7 thinking, how the fuck can I improve in my personal life, in my creative life, and like my business endeavors. Like it's a 24/7. Like I feel like I'm a fucking walking business. You know what I mean? I gotta call people. I gotta fucking make sure this shit is tight. I gotta chop up clips. I gotta drop them on YouTube, on Instagram, on fucking, I gotta be on point. Even when I'm in Mexico, I'm still fucking working. Like it's work 24/7. It's fucking, this show don't stop for nobody, bruh. Like, so I feel like at this point in my life, at my age, I feel like I've kind of built enough thick armor in my kind of identity to like not have like shit phase me. Because like I see like the stupid shit people do and say, and it's just kind of like, you're dumb as fuck, bro. Like I don't know if you know, but like you're really stupid, because like you're thinking your little comments or whatever, like it's like gonna affect me. It's not, bro. If anything, it's gonna like fuel me even more. Like people who've tried to like block me from my career, these fucking, what they thought was a roadblock was a closed door that I fucking gladly went to a different door and opened and went through. You get what I mean? These people that throw obstacles in your life, you gotta thank them. You know why? Because they're literally pushing you in the right direction. When people be like, oh well, you can't come with us. Fuck you then. I'll go by myself and I'll go this way, and I'll find some other people that will show me the way or will want to go with me. You know what I mean? Like shout out to a fucking BC1, the homies from Peru. Shout out to a Migs. Shout out to 30 Miles. Shout out to NC. These are real good brothers of mine that actually like want to see me do well, post my music. Advis, you know what I mean? Looney, like fucking, these are the homies that actually want to see me do good, actually like push me, and fucking we actually have conversations about my music, and I respect their fucking artistry as well. You know what I mean? You got to be surrounded by people that want to see you do good, and not around people who just like don't understand you. And if they don't understand you, that's fine. It's no hard feelings. It's just like there's a disconnect, and I don't want to be, my time is too, I don't have my watch, but my time is too fucking short to be around people that lack the understanding to be in my life. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be in like music either. It could just be on like personal relationships with people that, like one of like the hardest things like people need to understand is the people that you're drinking and smoking and doing these bullshit ass activities just because y'all was friends in high school. Like y'all gotta cut them out. I went to 3 different high schools. I didn't get a chance. I went out the the elementary I went to was not connected to the middle school I went to, was not connected to, or actually, you know what? I think I can't remember. Yeah, no. So yeah, I went to 3 different high schools, so it was like there was no way I grew up with fucking the people that, you know, like they say, you know, you grow up with your lifelong friends or some bullshit like that, and it's like, that ain't me, you know what I mean? There's people that have friends or whatever. I ain't got friends, you know. All I got is family, I feel like, and I think that type of wisdom like allows me to pick and choose like who the fuck I allow around my life. There was this one dude, I don't want to say his name or describe anything like that, but he just wasn't good to be around. You know, he fucking, and when I'm talking a long time ago, I'm talking about probably like when we were in middle school. This dude, I remember I brought him, he kicked it around the family in the house and my grandma's house, I think twice. And like he just wasn't good vibes, you know what I mean? My uncle didn't like him. I'm pretty sure my grandma don't really like black people, so oh shit, my bad. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Like, it's not, the whole thing is he's, you know what I mean? Like, that was a joke, but it was like he just wasn't good vibes. He didn't come off real like genuine. He came off very like and also too, we were kids, so it's like that don't really count. But you know, I hope he's doing good either way. I feel like going through life, it's a precious thing, man, and time is very precious to me. I'm a Capricorn, and I need every second got to be doing something fulfilling, you know what I mean, or else I'm gonna feel like it just went a waste, you know. And that's just how I feel about it. So, and going in a big circle, we're gonna go back to life and death, right? This is 10 years ago. It's my second mixtape. I released an EP called Lucy's. That had 5 songs. Then Dark and Colorful came out in October. So August was Lucy's. October was Dark and Colorful. That was my first mixtape. The cover was whatever birthday year that was. I think I turned 17. So I was 17. And the picture was... It was so funny. Like, this is how like life, like it kind of like life is funny, right? So the cover was with me, my cousin, my niece was like right here, my cake, and I had a bottle of, it looks like champagne, but it's not. It's apple cider, because at that time I didn't drink, and then when I did drink, it was only like for a couple years. I only drank from when I was like, I think 19 to 21. You know what I mean? I only drank for like 3 years. You know, I wasn't even like I was borracho status and shit. But I did smoke for like a cool, like what is it? I was 14 and then I got sober when I was 23. So yeah, a good 9 years. So in that cover, right, Dark and Colorful, my cousin I had my arm around, she's the chick that accused me of beating her. And then my niece is like fucking, she's a kid. I think she was like 4 at the time. She's like, you know, I'm the reason why like she's like hardcore into like video games or whatever. This is what she told me. So it's just, life is really funny, and then just like, you know, talking about like obstacles in your life and shit is just, I appreciate like all the bullshit I had to go through. Because like I said, man, like when it comes to like people that lack understanding and all that, it's like I told, who the fuck did I tell? Or maybe I didn't. It doesn't matter. It's like I wasn't hurt about like my family kind of believing in lies. I was more hurt of the fact that like y'all have known me my whole life. And I do not have anything on my fucking file about hurting women, beating women, being crazy, or being just aggressive like that. So when fucking some shit like comes out, like, oh, like I fucking beat my own cousin, especially a female, that's crazy, bro. So I have to look at everybody different after that. You know what I mean? And that's what hurt me the most. It was like, y'all know me, but like this makes me really like put it in perspective, like, oh, y'all don't know me at all. So like now I don't even want to be around y'all. No matter how like y'all try to sprinkle this shit, you know what I mean? Because I was already going through shit before. See, this is the thing with people that try to lie and bring kind of like a fake persona that or identity they want other people. This is a very identity and persona heavy episode. I like this, right? Because we're gonna really dive into some of this shit if we haven't already. But it's like, you know, there's people that are actually out here that are living the shit that you want other people to believe you're living in. You're just living in like your own fucking immature bullshit that you haven't grown from, and other people have grown through some of the shit that you would have been jumped off the bridge having experience. You know what I mean? You would have been got that pistol I got right there on my dresser and shot yourself in the fucking head. Dealing with some of the shit I had to deal with. You know what I mean? That situation included. But here we are fucking like, oh, he's just a woman beater. We don't know him. He's not really our cousin, you know. But this is reality. This is my life. So when I don't come around my family and shit like that, it's just like and that's not the only reason either. It's just there's a lot of shit. I don't feel like being around shit that's not conducive to, I feel like, my progress in my career. And whether that's selfish or not, I don't really care, because everyone's doing what's best for them. I've called people. I've let my family know fucking really well about the shit that I'm doing, but all I get is crickets. You know? When I'm telling them I'm doing a show, no one really cares. When I call my tios, they're not gonna pull up. So it's like, what the fuck? I stopped asking my parents. I've stopped telling my parents about the shit I'm like I got going on with my music, because it's like, for what? You know? They've already been on my shows. They've already been supported. They've already invested in me. So why the fuck am I gonna bother them? You know what I mean? Like, we're busy. We're all fucking busy over here, bruh. If you ain't busy, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, bruh. But this is life and this is reality. Do I have time to fucking bitch and moan like a little girl sitting around acting sorry for myself? No. You know why? Because I did that already. I did that for many, many years. You know? Whether that be just sitting around jerking off playing video games in my room, or fucking sleeping all day smoking weed on my grandma's couch watching fucking YouTube in the sala. You know? Them days was way behind me, bro. Like, I'm not even that same person. I wasn't that same person 3 persons ago. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you really doing about your situation to get yourself out of that? Going back to Life and Death, right? My second mixtape. So just to give you a quick synopsis, I was a senior in high school. This was right before I graduated. And the cover, if I remember correctly, was a picture of me and KO when we were both pretty big. Raul, rest in peace, when he had dreads. Jessica Rabbit in the scene where she's tied up on I think it's like a roller coaster, about to get like hit from the cartoon. And then I forgot on the other, it was kind of like a collage of like 4 pictures, I think. But yeah, and then, you know, it says, you know, fucking Evil Emperor Serbs. That was when I was still going by Evil Emperor Serbs. Like, if y'all don't know, like, this is an Easter egg for everybody, but Evil Emperor Serbs is like kind of like the original kind of like name. That's where, like, you know, like it came from. You know what I mean? You got, you know, Serbs the Gemini, Serbs the Destroyer, Big Serbavelli, Serbavel. I got mad nicknames, bruh. Like, you know what I mean? Mr. 9 Times, fucking whatever. You know, I have so much shit so that, like, my persona that I built up, Alligator Serbs, you know what I mean? Like, just a whole bunch of shit that, like, I've, like, come up with, you know what I mean? From the acronyms to the names and the nicknames and all that shit. So I remember Oh man, I think Hell's Pit was on Tally the Corpses, but I had a song called Zelda's Ghost that was about how we would go fucking and like walk through Zelda's tunnel. I mean, like we would kick it and blaze there all the time, fucking walking from middle school. I don't really remember too much else. I just remember that song, but it was cool. Like it wasn't like it was nothing crazy. It was just more so like, this is like 2016, right? So I had been rapping for like a little over a year at that point, and just progressing, I felt like it wasn't enough. Like I was so fucking hungry. Like I just wanted it now. Like I wanted everything now. Like just give me the fame, the money, the notoriety. Just give me it all, bruh. And I just didn't have the kind of like the patience to wait and let success come to me. Like I was full fucking frontal assault on just trying to attain everything that came with being a successful rapper. And I'm so glad that it never happened the way I wanted it to, because had I had my cake and eat it too back then, I'd probably be in a way worse predicament now. Just going from, had I got the Halle I wanted that I'm working now, at that time I would have got fired for sure off the bat. The first random they would have sent me to, I would have failed. I might have not even have passed probation, to keep it a stack. What else? Whatever, right? Just like everything just wasn't lining up for me, and that pissed me off even more, and I wanted to go even more harder with that shit. So, and then to bring it back, it's like, all right, Lucy's was in August. Then in October, we got fucking, what is it? Dark and Colorful. Then in January, I dropped Vanguard. February was the Lovesick EP. No, March was Vanguard. January was the Tales from the Crypt EP. April was Tales from the Crypt Creeper EP. And then May was Life and Death. So I had already a couple shits under my belt. I had a lot of songs. I made a lot of music. But, it was one of those things where I just was creating, and I didn't really care. And people would be like, and I would name the names. I remember, I forgot what teacher I had, but, they even pointed out, like, Dark and Colorful, Tales from the Crypt Creeper, Life and Death, like, what's going on? And it was just like, nah, it's just I didn't even, like, fully understand that shit in my mind. Oh, Sun, Moon, and Stars, was like the part one. Part two came out in a Love Superior with 1-2. Shout out to him. But Sun, Moon, and Stars was probably my favorite song off of that. I promise you, the sun, moon, and stars, expensive cars, wrap you in London fog, dress in my doll. Whatever the fuck I said. Yeah, the whole like hook was like about like gravitating towards one another, all that shit. It was all about like the planets and the stars and all that. But like related to a woman, I never like heard no shit like that, like before or even after. But I didn't even know that'd be. It's funny because Sun, Moon, and Stars I think is like a hidden character song that came out like in 2022. But it's just funny, like just looking back at that like album or mixtape or whatever the fuck. Because that was when I was really first starting to wrap my brain around like people kind of investing into me as like more of a personality than like kind of like my music. And I feel like that carried over to today. Like I feel like more people are invested into me as a person than like my clothes or my music or what the fuck else is there, like, whatever it is. And I'm trying to flip that. I'm trying to kind of like reverse it. I wanted to be like, if you didn't know me, would you wear like Imperial? If you didn't know me, would you listen to Loteria? If you didn't know me, would you fucking watch my podcast? You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of shit that I think about all the fucking time, you know, because I'm not banking on, oh, well, everyone's gonna know me, everyone loves me, so they're just gonna buy into my shit. It's like, no, man, I want people to buy into my shit because they actually like it, and then they're gonna figure out the rest of this shit. Oh, he fucking, you know, he's actually really cool, he's a genuine dude, or he's funny, or he's a dickhead, you know what I mean? Like, whatever people love me or hate me for, I want them to see that after the fact of like my clothes or my fucking music or whatever, right? So that was Life and Death, and it's really dark. It has, I feel like, Oh Come Through. That was one of my, you know what's so, shout out to my cousin Noah, man. He it was just his birthday like the other day too. I think his birthday was the 4th or the 5th. I feel like it was the 5th. But happy birthday to my cousin. I didn't hit him up or call him or whatever, because I've hit him up before and he just hasn't answered me. So when it comes to my younger cousins, or just anyone else in general, once like they stop hitting me up, it's like, that's it, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it ain't no hard feelings or nothing like that. It's just more so like, all right, well, you doing your thing obviously, and I'm gonna do mine, so fuck it, you know. So what else we got? Oh yeah, my cousin Noah, he told me, I forgot what the fuck. I posted something like on Instagram or something. He was like, man, this is like what got me. I don't know verbatim if he said this, but he was like, this was like fucking what I was bumping in middle school type shit. You know what I mean? This was like my middle school era. And I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. Because that was the end of my high school era. You know, I'm a lot older than him. And this isn't, like, as artists, we don't really know the effect like of our words and our music, you know, and that was something I just totally not took for granted, but it was like, all right, well, I'm just making music. And what's funny is I put that, I could have swore it was that mixtape I put in the sandwich bags, and I gave that album to all my teachers and shit, and I forgot my teacher's name, man. I had him for journalism and I think one other class. No, wait, I only had him for journalism, but I think he taught like math or English too. But I either heard this from another student or from him or some shit like that. No. I think I returned back to that high school a year later or some shit like that, just to pop and say what's up. No. It had to have been months later or something like that. I came through and, you know, I said what's up to everybody, and fuck, man, one of them was like, yeah, that mixtape you gave to Mr. Whatever, we did a whole project on that. He was like explaining like, this was one of my students, he was in this same class with y'all, he made like a mixtape, and we listened to it in the class, and we did like some shit on it. We did like, it was like a part of a project or some shit. That blew my fucking mind, bro, because I was like, what the fuck, like that, especially even now, because like that shit, I totally forgot about that. But just talking about that mixtape, it was like, you know, it was a really pivotal thing without even knowing like that happened in my life, from inspiring my cousin KO being on the cover, fucking that shit being like a part of a project with my journalism teacher. Shout out to him, man. A lot of kind of like what I do with my interviews and stuff is fucking I hear like something inside or something. I think my dog's inside. What is it? But a lot of kind of like my communication skills with other people, especially with like interviews, goes like with journalism, because that was when, you know, we were lumped up with like freshmen and juniors, and you know what I mean? I think I was one of the only seniors, because I guess I came from a different high school. So there it was like, you know, at my high school, that was considered like you took that as like a junior or a senior. But over there, it was like you had to take it as a freshman or sophomore, but there were some seniors and juniors that fucking needed the class that just didn't take it for whatever reason. So we were with a bunch of fucking kids, and some of them were a lot younger than me. And I just remember, like, you know, dealing with people with different personalities and like kind of like, you know, I didn't really give a fuck. It was like, bruh, like, who cares? And that just the whole creative sort of thing. Like, I remember we had come up with an idea of a product and sell it to fucking the class, right? And we got an A because of me. You know, I was paired up with two other chicks, and funny, one of them, her name is, I'm gonna say your name too. Her name was Gabriella, and this other chick I forgot, but her name was Juliet, and this chick was a liar. She fucking said her boyfriend was in the Marines. I don't believe that shit at all. And if he was in the Marines, you was fucking dating a pedophile. Either way, right? So Gabriella, right? Shout out to her. I seen her at the mall like maybe last year and shit, and I seen her and I just like looked at her and I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't even know this, but she's fucking gay now. But that's cool. Either way, I think she's still beautiful. Got a nice little booty on it. Anyway, going back to the project, right? So these bitches couldn't think of nothing. They're right there fucking twiddling the fingers and all that. Not even fucking like coming up with shit. I'm like, here we go. I got to come up with shit. How fucking hard is it to come up with a project or a product, right? I came up with it like fucking in 5 fucking minutes. You know what I mean? All we had to do was base our fucking product on some other shit that's already like out there and present it to the class. So what did I do? I just came up with a rhyme because that's what the fuck I do. I write rhymes all fucking day because I'm a fucking teenage kid just making music and not giving a fuck about school. But here I go putting my talent to some good use at school. The irony, right? So all I did was get a Neutrogena bottle for like your face and the skin and got them orange little syrupy shits you just lather your face up with. I peeled the shit off. And then in Sharpie, I wrote the name of the company that was like ours, right? That I came up with everything. So I wrote, instead of Neutrogena in Sharpie, I wrote Invisiskin. Thinking about it now, that's a fucking condom waiting to happen. Everybody, this is my shit, Invisiskin, right? Invisiskin, and I wrote some rhyme like Invisiskin, you know, the clearest skin you'll ever get, or some bullshit like that. I'm fucking it up, but I had a really cool like jingle and like rhyme that I came up with, slogan for the product. I got an A for it. I literally carry the team on my back like fucking Colin Kaepernick, and fuck all these Levi's. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel sometimes when it comes to like just my creativity and all that. Like, you know, I fucking got an A because of like my mind and like how I perceived like fucking my assignment or whatever. But journalism, I smoked that shit. Like, that was one of the classes like I was like dummy fucking fire with. You know, English I was always good at, even in college. In college I got no less than a B in English. Math was super hard. I failed like trigonometry like 3 fucking times. What is it? I wasn't good at Spanish, the irony. I wasn't the only shits I was really good at school with was like journalism, English. I can't even remember fucking the classes I took in high school. I used to remember like everything about my high school days when I was younger, because I was like, I'll never forget how people made me feel. You know what I mean? All that bullshit. But it's just funny, you know, like where life takes you and the journey, you know what I mean? Because we're just talking about one mixtape. I'm not even talking about Dark and Colorful. I didn't even really give you the backstory to like Life and Death, which isn't even really like, you know, I just told you, like, you know, I got kicked out from one high school. I went to this new one. I was super depressed. I met some new homies. They was like up to no good type shit. And you know, I was just really sad. And that was kind of where like the more darker shit was going down. I had like suicidal thoughts like at that time for months. You know, I felt like I couldn't taste salt. I couldn't taste the water and none of that shit. I was just like, you know, fucking depressed level fucking 5 or 9 or whatever the fuck. Like, I was just on some on some really like lower vibrational levels of existence. And it's really sad, man. It really like kind of you know, it makes me like feel a certain way, but it's like that's how I was in high school, man. That's why I feel like whenever I have kids and I get the chance to teach other kids, it's like, this is why the type of shit I drop knowledge, because I gain wisdom from like some of the like that's just one chamber, you know what I mean? Just having to have new friends, not having no one you could vibe with. Who the fuck is this kid? Why? How the fuck are you in a new school as a senior when we've already been through our whole lives with the same group of fucking friends and shit like that? Who is this dude? You know what I mean? And that was a whole different monster to navigate. So that's where like just some of the fucking dark shit that I talk about, like how it comes out, because you you're dealing with betrayal, you're dealing with deception, fucking depression, what is it? Lies, broken bonds, broken friendships, fucking failed love interests or whatever like that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to fucking swindle anybody, and you know what I mean? Like I love my life now, and I'm not even an ounce in what the fuck I was talking about back then. I'm just trying to give you a perspective on where I was in my life at that point making this mixtape. I spent the whole episode on this mixtape, which I think is fire. But this is what I want to kind of like put it in perspective for y'all, like of where I was, because this mixtape was really like pivotal in my career, and I didn't even realize that shit until now. You get what I mean? It was something that I just did. And there's so many other examples of like, wow, when I listen to fucking Bridge City Music by Mufasa, or Picasso and Matisse, or just certain shits like that, where it's like, wow, I appreciate all the shit that like we did or I did, and I experienced, because it's kind of like it all brought me to this point where like I'm doing a lot better, I'm living a lot better, and the bullshit, the little things that like have happened to deter me in my life is like nothing, you know what I mean? So Life and Death, I'm probably never gonna put it out again. I mean, there are some people that have listened to it, and it's not a lot. I put it on Dat Piff, rest in peace to Dat Piff. That's all it was on. I put it on SoundCloud, but I think I deleted it from my SoundCloud too. I just feel like it's like with anything. I just feel like it never really got the love and respect that it deserved. Definitely not anything that I put into it, but it's fine. Like, you know what I mean? I'm making more new music, and if I release it, I release it, and if I don't, I don't. Like, it's just, my music is for me. It's not for y'all. Don't ever forget that. I'm not making music for you. I'm making music for me. Because like I say this time and time and again, without music, I will go insane. So thank you to everybody for listening to Life and Death and all my music out there. That was like, I remember, I think KO, it was either KO, I think it was KO that was like, isn't that a Biggie Smalls album? And I was like, nah, that's Life After Death. This is Life and Death. Like, it was like, you know what I mean? That's where I was. I just kind of like, I always loved Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls was very inspirational to me. And, I mean, that was May. June, I came out with Worthless Verses EP. July, I think I came out with some other shit. Can't remember. Yeah, July or August, it was like I dropped, Solo Fight Singles Part 1. Then I dropped La Pirata de fucking Ontario. Then Halloween, I dropped Tunes and Boons. Dia de los Muertos, I dropped Tally the Corpses. That's fucking what I remember. I was dropping back to back to back fucking music, because I felt like the more my life was changing, the more like it fueled my music. And it's so weird, because it's like that's always how it's been. Like, I always just took my life and I just put it in my music, whether it be like, whether it was just me making music or me like venting through my music. It was like whatever was going on in my changes, I spit on a mic. And that's crazy, man. I guess the message of the day is like, learn from your experiences. If you're just living life and you're experiencing things and not learning from it, what the fuck are you doing, bruh? Like, what are you, a fucking idiot? Are you a dumbass, dunce motherfucker? Like, learn from that shit, you know? What good is it to experience life if you're not gonna learn nothing? Might as well not even experience life. You might as well just be watching TV all day, fucking eating Cheerios or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So learn from your experiences. They're going to help you out a lot, not just the good ones, the bad ones. You're going to learn more from your failures than your successes. So remember, man, always learn from your experiences. This is the God's Hour.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil lay inside your box now while the angels fly over my headstone.